Are you underfunding your go-to-market strategy and struggling to win? Because here's the truth. A benchmark budget only tells you where you sit compared to competitors. It tells you nothing about what you actually need to win. If your go-to-market budget starts with, well, other companies spend 10% of revenue on sales and marketing, congrats, you've already lost. A real go-to-market budget should be grounded in bottom-up math. But, and this is a big but, that only works if finance and marketing are speaking the same language. Too often they're not. Marketing talks in leads, conversion rates, and pipeline. Finance talks in EBITDA, burn, and why is this line item growing so fast? And the result? A budget that technically balances and strategically does nothing. A bottom-up go-to-market budget starts with the growth target, not last year's spend, not industry benchmarks, the actual revenue number you're trying to hit. From there, the drivers need to build all the way up to that target. In other words, the math has to math. Your revenue goal should decide the sales pipeline you need. And the pipeline size drives the number of leads you need. And finally, your go-to-market spend should support how many leads you need to get there, not the other way around. You should not start by deciding how much you want to spend. And this is where trade-offs show up, because everything in business has them. If you want higher growth, are you willing to sacrifice margins in the short term? Are you okay with EBITDA taking a hit while you invest in the J-curve? You don't get infinite growth and infinite efficiency. Pick your poison. People love to say, the devil is in the details. I like to say, the devil is in the drivers. The business drivers, that is. If your controller is forcing you to talk about details that don't matter instead of your go-to-market drivers, then watch this video about the 6 red flags you need a new controller. To help you focus on the important drivers to budget, you need to ask better questions, like how much revenue do you need to produce each month? Don't assume you'll hit 1/12 of your goal in January if you're trying to ramp up. Or how much pipeline does that require? And what's our pipeline velocity? Meaning, how far in advance do we need to start nurturing our marketing leads? Or how many marketing qualified leads do we need to create enough of our sales qualified leads? Or how many leads can each salesperson truly close? Do we need to hire more to hit our target? Or which channels can scale and which ones tap out fast? This is where most go-to-market budgets fall apart because assumptions go unchallenged. Your go-to-market budget should be tied directly to your funnel metrics, like your cost per lead, your cost of acquisition, your lifetime value, and yes, budget for customer churn too. Revenue you lose is revenue you have to replace before you can even grow. Once you've built this, then pressure test it. Can marketing generate that volume without destroying efficiency? Do you actually have enough sales capacity? What breaks first in operations when you push harder? When you do this right, something interesting happens. The go-to-market budget becomes the output, not the input. You're no longer saying, here's what we want to spend. You're saying, here's what it costs to achieve this growth. Real alignment happens when finance stops acting like a scorekeeper and starts acting like a stimulator. The best finance teams build models that show outcomes. If we spend more here, what happens? If conversion drops, where does growth break? If we hire faster or slower, what's the impact? That's how finance becomes a go-to-market partner, not a go-to-market blocker. If your go-to-market budget doesn't tell a data-driven story of how you'll actually achieve your growth, then your story is just a fantasy. Let's fix that right now. We are running a special for the next month to help you create a kick-ass budget for this year. For only $2,500, we'll work with your team to help create a budget that meets your goals and is rooted in key business drivers. Click below to get started.